New Zealand sounds simple, beautiful country, world-class universities, and compared to countries like US or UK, the process can feel more straightforward. But honestly, here is the reality that most of the students realize too late. It's simple only if you understand the process very clearly. And even one small mistake can affect your 30 to 40 lakhs of decision. Hi, I'm Simran, and in this video, I'll walk you through the complete New Zealand visa process step by step, so you are not just following a checklist but actually building a strong and a very structured application. Now, to begin with, New Zealand has 8 public universities, all globally recognized, which makes it quite an attractive option. International students are generally allowed to work up to 20 hours a week during the academic sessions and full time during the scheduled breaks, as per the visa conditions set by the Immigration New Zealand. And after graduation, you may be eligible for the post-study work visa for approximately 1 to 3 years, depending on your qualification level and other factors. This can sometimes support the future immigration pathways, but again, it's not guaranteed. So yes, on the surface, it looks like a very safe option, but in reality, your outcome completely depends on how strong your application is. So if we break that down, your visa strength comes to these 3 core points. First, a valid offer of place from a recognized New Zealand education provider approved under immigration and qualification standards. Second, proof of English proficiency like IELTS, TOEFL or PT. And third, your strong financial evidence covering your tuition fees, living expenses and the travel cost. For IELTS, most of the UG courses usually require around 6 overall, while PG courses often require 6.5 or higher, although it can completely depend on your course and university. Moving ahead, the correct flow is actually quite simple. You apply to the universities first, get your offer letter and then apply for your visa application. And most of the university applications are either free or a very small fee. And the main intake are February and July, with some additional intakes depending on your course. But now the most important part is the funding. You generally need to show around 20,000 New Zealand dollars for living expenses plus your tuition cost and your travel cost. However, more than the amount, what really matters is the clarity and the credibility of your financial documents as assessed by the Immigration New Zealand. Your bank statement should have a very stable financial history, and large sudden deposits without a proper explanation can raise concerns. In addition to that, fixed deposits can help support your case if they are properly documented and held for a reasonable period. Education loans are widely accepted from the banks as well as from the NBFCs, but your loan document must clearly show the sanction amount along with the terms and the repayment structure. And if you're using your family funds, you will need to clearly show the relationship, source of income and the supporting financial documents. And even small details matter here. For example, if your account shows a very large sudden deposit, you should be able to explain it with proper proof like income proof, saving history and the tax statements. And for the tuition fees, always use an official receipt from the institution and avoid any screenshots or any unofficial documents. Now, beyond finances, your application must show the genuine intent to study, and you may not always be required to submit a formal statement of purpose, but you still need to clearly demonstrate your purpose of study and your intentions through your overall application and the supporting documents. Typically, you'll need your passport, academic transcripts, English test results, evidence of funds, offer of place, medical insurance and health checks if required based on your stay duration. And a police certificate may also be required depending on your course length and the overall profile. And if you have study gaps, they are acceptable as long as they are properly explained with valid reasons like work experience, upskilling, or other productive activities. So it's really about how you justify it. Along with this, any previous visa refusal must also be declared. Not declaring it can be considered as misrepresentation and may lead to refusal or future bans. And if you are planning to bring your spouse, eligibility completely depends on your qualification level and the course. In some cases, the partner may be eligible for an open work visa, while in others, a visitor visa may apply. And the dependent children may also be allowed, but you must show additional financial capacity. The application itself is fully online through the official Immigration New Zealand website, where you can create your account, upload your documents, pay the visa fee, and track your application. And the processing time may completely vary depending upon the individual. Some applications are decided within a few weeks, while others may take even longer depending on the overall verification process and the overall individual circumstances. So it's always better to apply well in advance of your course start date. Finally, let's talk about where most of the students face issues. Rejections are usually not random. They happen due to unclear or insufficient funds, weak or inconsistent documentation, failure to demonstrate genuine study intent, low English scores, missing disclosures, or unverifiable financial sources. When you step back and look at it, the pattern is quite clear. Students don't fail because the process is complex. They fail because they approach it without any structure and consistency. So if you're planning for New Zealand, don't just treat this like a form. Treat this like a structured investment in your future. Subscribe to the channel, evaluate your profile using the link in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.